1-0 win for Manchester City here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It takes Pep Guardiola's side 3 points behind Arsenal in the Premier League, and he's with Emma Saunders.
Well, Pep, congratulations. Is that relief, joy, perhaps a mix of both? How do you reflect on today?
No, good. They had one chance in the first half and one duel that we lost, but part of that, okay, more corners, more throw-ins, more actions, and the rumours for the Premier League always is there, but we don't concede. And yeah, we played an outstanding first half that is closing our best in many things. The problem is when you don't score goals and the chances that we had and Heller make a good saves is more difficult. In Premier League second half we 1-0 always happen, but we don't much or more tired. Of course we attack less the spaces, but in general really pleased for this month since United game. The team grew up a lot in many things, and yeah, hopefully we come back healthy the players for the national team.
This is it. I mean, there were huge positives in that first half. When you've got 75% of the ball, though, at the break, and it's only translating to 4 shots on target, why do you think that is?
Because there are 10 players behind the ball, right? So there are another way, it's a piece, another way that you defend deep and run in transitions, say 40 meters. So yeah, we could concede more, but it was so clear the chances, and the other ones were blocked in the last shoot, and but we were there. So, but the process was really good, and from here, I always try to build. Always, from my experience, when we won, is because we play good, not because a lot or not or less chances. So, and the game was there.
I suppose as the game grows on, you mentioned there are 10 players behind the ball. How much of a mental challenge does it then become for the players?
But from my experience already here, when 1-0 second half away games or even at home, always is tight. Always everything can happen. They put the ball there, they are told, but we defend really good the throw-ins and everything. So last season here we could not win. We happened this season.
We saw you embracing Erling Haaland at the end there. I think that's 18 goals now in 11 games, all competitions, club and country. What were you saying to him?
Keep going. He was tired, but keep going. Have been so important for us this season, I would say. We need more goals than the other ones, but the chances was there. So the winger have to score more goals. The winger have to create in situations 1 against 1 or 1 against 2. They have to finish more, but yeah, step by step we do it. As much as we are solid with the team in our game, we'll be fine.
Perhaps the only real negative on today is Rodri. Could you first confirm exactly what it is he's done?
I was right, no? When you asked me in the beginning of the game why I don't play 90 minutes all the time, the journalists always ask me why substitution against one. So hopefully, yeah, if he's injured or felt something, hopefully will not be huge.
Just before you go, 250 Premier League wins. That's the milestone that you've reached today. You're the 4th manager to do it, and you're the fastest as well, beating the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson, David Moyes, Arsene Wenger. You've so many accolades. What does that mean to you?
I will invite them, all of them, to dinner. I think it's an honor to sit in a table with them, so it's not bad. So it's 10 seasons, right? So it's many games, and of course 250 victories is a lot. I don't know how many games, but yeah, it is faster for one reason. It's because we won a lot, right? So we won a lot, and that's why you made a point. It's nice to. I didn't know it. It's nice, and yeah, I will call Sir Alex and Arsene to go one day. I will invite Sky to be present there. Okay?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pep. Thank you.
So we're all going for dinner.
I fancied it, did you?
Yeah, absolutely. There's just confirmation of how quickly he has reached 250 Premier League wins in 349 games. So what's that? 55 quicker than Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger and David Moyes, the other 3 on that list. And the speed of that does reflect, Micah, their dominance over many seasons under him.
Yeah, well, he's one of the greatest ever to do it. I think when we've talked about Guardiola, it's not just the wins, it's how they've won, how he's changed the football, the tick-a-tacker. A lot of people said it wouldn't work when he first come. Obviously, that first season when he come, it was a little bit of disappointment by his standards. But ever since then, they've just took the game to new heights. He's had to bring in players, he's had to suffer injuries, but the standards always remain the same. They dropped off a little bit last season, but for a team to win the Premier League 4 years in a row, it's just sensational stuff.
And constant discussion about how his City teams have evolved over different eras and how he has changed things and adapted things. And this does feel like a different version of Manchester City again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I think that's a lot to do with the introduction of the players. I think there's been a lot of talk over this last few months about players adjusting to the Premier League and how difficult it can be. But then I've watched Reinders since he arrived at the Premier League, and first game against Wolves, and I was taken aback of how good he looks, how comfortable he looks, and he gives them a completely different dimension. And I'm not comparing him to Kevin De Bruyne because he's always been my favourite and always will be because of what he did. But he's a different type of player. Like the way he covers ground, the way he runs with the ball, he's so graceful. He doesn't maybe spot those eye-catching passes that Kevin did, but there are certain things that he does that are just amazing, you know. And this league catches you by surprise. It's tough, it's physical, and he seems to always find time on the ball. He has been a really good addition to the club, and sometimes they've spent vast amounts of money to get the superstars, and you thought, well, only they can get in because of the money. He was one that probably lots of other clubs would have looked at, maybe not quite sure, played at AC Milan and obviously had a good career, but he looks like a really good bit of recruitment. I've been very impressed.
So how high do you think you can go? We're talking...
Yeah, I mean, just keep doing what he's doing. I mean, in terms of how far he can go, he can be the catalyst in that midfield, you know, and take Manchester City back to challenging to winning titles quicker than probably what we thought, because it's going to take a little bit of time because of the players they've lost. But yeah, and especially when you lose Rodri at the moment, and he's going to be in and out, as Pep's rightly said, when you come back from an injury, it's never easy, and he's struggling with other parts of his body, and he has to adjust to that. But when that happens, that's when you need other players to step up. Phil Foden has stepped up, and he looks back to his best. Reinders, as I say, has been fantastic, and sometimes it's the different players, and when you have Kevin De Bruyne there, at times you're so reliant on him, and everybody else waits for him to do something. Now it's maybe more of a collective, and that's what we might see with Manchester City.
That's the only negative really for City from this evening, isn't it? Rodri, and obviously Pep Guardiola said to Emma they hope it's not too serious and they will wait and see. Something tweaked in that right hamstring.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I think Pep alluded to it in his interview there. Everyone's asking why he doesn't play all the minutes. I think he's just trying to protect him. When you come back from a bad knee injury, you do get these little niggles, whether it be a calf or it be a hamstring or whatever it may be. But City need him back, and need him back to his best as soon as possible if they want to challenge for this league, because you've mentioned Reinders, Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner, is one of the best midfielders I've ever seen in the Premier League.
He's different, isn't he? He's just different. You saw the effect of him last year, and the good thing is they've got an international break now to give him a bit of time, a bit of treatment, and get to the bottom. Because I know what Pep's saying about injuries. You know, when you have a cruciate or a long injury, some players come back and then they're fine. He, for whatever reason, is finding it a bit more difficult. And you see those games coming up. You know, you're going to need him. But what they're showing in the period that he's in and out of the team, they're still effective and they're still playing well. I
mean, you will have both had injuries in your careers. He was on the bench with the injury, and he moving all right there to complain about a decision, but that right hamstring is well taped up at that stage. When you're coming back from a really serious injury like he is, then the niggles are to be expected, aren't they, as you try and find some kind of fitness and form and get back into a routine?
Yeah, I think that's what Pep, again, was talking about. It's just protecting him a little bit. The injuries I had, I just couldn't recover from them. And this league is so intense. We keep talking about the amount of games that not just Man City have, the modern day football, and now you do need a little bit of protection, because it's too intense. It's too intense, and the way he plays in that midfield, it's difficult, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, and I think as well, when the game's coming thick and fast, and he has to remember, and if I could give him one bit of advice, because it's almost my specialist subject, injuries, unfortunately.
well, that's why I did pass to you.
But no, I retired at 31, and that was because I kept probably putting myself into positions instead of just resting, instead of like thinking you're out for a couple of months and you try to come back and play in a month. You know, that's not beneficial. You need to just at times wait for your body to heal, and then you can take your time if you like, because rushing it, and I totally get it, because he wants to play. He's a Ballon d'Or winner, and
that's the other thing, isn't it? There's the noise around him and this demand. Well, hang on, you've got the Ballon d'Or winner. When's he going to be back? When's he going to be back?
Absolutely, and he was one of the players that was speaking up at the time when he picked up the injury against Arsenal. He was saying that players are getting, the demands on players are too much. There's too many competitions, the Club World Cup, and then if you look at Arsenal right now, if you look at Chelsea right now and the injuries that they've got, it's no coincidence. PSG have picked up injuries. We have to have a duty of care with players. But I totally get it. When you've been out that long and you feel okay, you just want to play. And you're going to say to Pep, please, I'm ready. And because of the importance of what he brings, you will play him. But sometimes, you have to let the sports scientists and everybody take care of him and manage his minutes carefully, because you don't want maybe something else to happen that could cost him.
It's hard though, isn't it, Jamie? Is that fine line between wanting to making yourself available for the team and then protecting yourself? I did myself damage with my knee. I shouldn't have been playing, but I was captain at Villa when it happened. I put myself out there. And
so you felt the pressure to play?
But I didn't feel pressure from the staff or the fans or anything. I think the pressure myself. You come from Manchester City, you win the league, you go to Fiorentina, it doesn't work out for you. Then you come back to Aston Villa as the quote-unquote star signing. You want to be available on the pitch, and when you're not available, you do stuff. I was getting my knee drained before trading, going out and playing on a Saturday, and I look back now thinking, what was I doing? I was never right. But I understand, going back to Rodri, why you would put yourself forward, because you want to be on the pitch.
Would you, to just take him out of, not the firing line for a bit, but to give him the best possible chance for a long-term recovery so the niggles aren't there, would you give Nico Gonzalez a run?
Yeah, I think he needs a run. I think he started okay in the first couple of games when he came to the club, and then he sort of petered out a little bit. He's not sort of grabbed that position like we know he can. I think in his defence, he's more of a number 8 than a number 6. So a lot of people are thinking he's going to go in that number 6 role and start dictating. And in Man City's team, he can do that, but he's not going to be at the level of Rodri right now. Players need time to bed in, show exactly. Maybe this is an opportunity for him now, show exactly what he can do. But I think he's more of a number 8 than a number 6.
A little taster of what's to come, Mark. Back to you,
Jamie. Any more shows you want to do, mate?
No, it's all right, but I just do them for one company.
No comment from two of us on that. Anyhow, let's get reaction to Brentford's defeat here. Here's Keith Andrews with Emma.
Well, Keith, with the way that your team have found a way back into that game in the second half, are you disappointed to come away with nothing?
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. I think second half felt we were the more dominant team, had the better chances clearly. I think they had one shot in the second half. I felt we unnerved them in the second half and made it really uncomfortable for them. Created one very good opportunity and just looked more dangerous, looked more like us in the second half. So to come away with nothing is disappointing clearly, yeah.
Starting from that first half, I think it's the first 45 minutes that Brentford have had in the Premier League where they've not managed to get a touch in the opposition box, which I guess sums up just how tricky the challenge was today. For you, when you break it down, why were they so difficult to disrupt?
Very good team. They dominate the ball. Every single game this season, they've had periods, some larger periods than others, of when they control proceedings. It's the nature of the way the team is set up and the level of opposition that we're playing today in terms of the individual quality. In the main, I felt in the first half they had one really good opportunity. Reinders had a volley where Quevian saves. Apart from that, very, very little of it was in front of us. We wanted to do a bit more with the ball, clearly. And we felt we grew into the game for sure, but second half was more like us.
Yeah, as you grew in then, what were the seeds that were planted? Where did it start turning for you?
I thought the start of the second half overall, I thought the first 10-15 minutes set the tone for what we wanted to do. I felt we always needed to energise it then by bringing subs on to make sure we had fresh legs to get around the midfield. On top end of the pitch, we're always going to be a threat with the type of players that we have there. Disappointing overall.
So it's fine margins. Thiago with that opportunity, he's been so clinical. When you look at that, perhaps did he just have a bit too much thinking time in a game which was so short on moments with the way Man City were playing?
Yeah, I haven't seen it back. My feeling at the time was that he never quite had it under control, really. And obviously he's up against a top goalkeeper. He's scored 2 really good goals last weekend. Thiago will get a lot of goals for us this season. Unfortunately, he doesn't take the opportunity today.
Ultimately, it's a defeat, but are you quite encouraged, actually, as you leave here today by what your players have done in that second half, the way that they've turned that around?
I'm very proud of the performance. I think I'm very proud of the group overall this season. I think a lot's been made of the changes at the club and the narrative around the club. I think when you look at the second half performance against a team of that calibre and the results that we've had in recent weeks since the last international break, I think we can be really encouraged about what we can do over the coming months.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
He's right to look at the bigger picture, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a really good start, especially at home. And they beat Aston Villa, Manchester United, point against Chelsea, 7 points. He'll be looking to improve the away form. That'll be something they'll try to do. They did that at the back end of last season. And I think he'll be delighted with it. It's not been easy for him. He doesn't want to allude to it, but I think he's done a really good job. And the moments today, certainly second half, as I mentioned, Thiago, he scores that. Everything can change, and it's tough. You're playing against one of the best sides in world football, and you've got to chase the ball. You've got to find a bit of rhythm in the game, and he never quite got to grips in the first half. But second half, there was a vast improvement. So he'll be looking at that, thinking that's the next step we've got to make. Get the away form sorted. But I think so far, it's been a really good start for Keith Andrews.
Don't you think he's done ever so well as well when you lose Vissa and Mbeumo? You take them, the goals that they've got at the team. I think
and
he's
the
doing
captain, Norgard.
Yeah, but I think he's doing a really intelligent job in what he can get out the players. I said last week and he wanted to go a little bit more direct. Couldn't quite do that in the first half. Second half, there was a little bit more energy. Henderson started getting on the ball a little bit more, and he could only manage what he's got at his disposal at this time. And I think for a manager who's coming into it, who was formerly a set piece coach, to come in as a head coach, I think he's doing a good job.